This is my audience.
Hi, I'm John.
I'm Julie.
I'm Megan.
Okay, and today my speech will be a persuasive speech about why animals should not be kept in captivity. These are my note cards. So, approximately 175 million people will visit, which is about half of America's population, will visit a zoo or aquarium each year, according to the AZA. So as you can see, many animals have to be kept in captivity for that amount of people to be able to see them. And they can be kept in captivity in zoos, aquariums, or carnivals, or circuses. There's a great need to get these animals out of captivity and back into the wild so that they can live the life the way they should. I have gone to many zoos growing up over the years and have just recently been introduced to the effects that captivity has on an animal. Seeing insight into an animal's life at a zoo made me want to research even more about the topic. I hope throughout this presentation I will be able to persuade you about the need to stop the captivity of animals, the way to satisfy the animal's needs, the benefits towards education if animals are no longer kept in captivity, and the actions that can be taken. Many people go unaware throughout their lives of the effects being captivity has on an animal. Animals are negatively affected both physically and mentally when they are kept in captivity. A greater number of animals held captive have a startlingly negative response and become very stressed, according to the Alternative Daily. I once watched a documentary named Blackfish, which basically talks about SeaWorld and how the orcas were mistreated and what that led to. Many people have recently been watching this documentary because the topic has become very controversial. I suggest after this presentation, you all take the time to watch the documentary because it gives you an ideal understanding of why animals should not be kept in captivity. What the film demonstrates, though, is how stressed and depressed these orcas are, and that leads to not only the deaths of the animals, but also the trainers. Other signs of depression you may have seen at a zoo, but never realized what they truly meant, could be elephants swaying back and forth, caged birds picking out their feathers, or even leopards picking out their fur. There are plenty of other examples that you can research in your spare time. Also, baby animals bring in a lot of revenue for zoos, and that is something the zoo really enjoys, of course. So they will purposely breed animals to make a profit, and that was according to a lady named Lynn. That causes zoos to have too large an amount of animals because none are ever released back into the wild where they belong. They will either kill their surplus animals or sell them to other zoos or circuses. When circuses obtain animals, they are known to abuse them so that they perform tricks that the trainers know the audience will love. Also, removing animals from the wild further endangers them because the remaining individuals will be less genetically diverse and will struggle finding a mate. We must ask ourselves if we want to call this entertainment or animal cruelty. To satisfy the needs of animals, you need to first understand how being kept in captivity causes the animals to meet their needs. According to Lynn, wild animals forced to live in captivity have very complex needs such as food, water, and protection. Even when basic needs are met, an animal can be driven mad by stress and loneliness. When giving them food, you need to be sure the animals are getting the right amount for their certain diet. When these animals are paired with other animals in an enclosure, which usually does happen, you cannot guarantee the amount of food an animal is getting, and that could lead to starvation or could cause fights over food. Also, it is extremely difficult to recreate an environment like the ones they are used to in the wild. Animals are derived of their natural activities like hunting, foraging, pecking, digging, or climbing. In captivity, they are given plastic toys or trash even sometimes to play with, but that does not fully satisfy their need for activity. For example, at one facility, beavers live in a cement pool and are not allowed to build dams. Building dams usually takes up a majority of their time and allows them all the activity they need. Without their daily activities like they are used to, animals become depressed because they do not know what to do with their free time, nor know how to keep fit. If it is found crucial to keep an animal in captivity, there are things that need to be done to ensure a healthy lifestyle. Whoever oversees the animals needs to be sure they are aware of all the needs of that animal and need to be sure that they satisfy each of those needs. Even keeping animals in captivity where their needs are for sure met, we can still not guarantee a healthy and normal lifestyle like they would have in the wild. It will be difficult to predict the outcome and how it will affect the animals in the long run. It is a risky project just as it is risky to keep an animal in captivity. Once said by Dr. Georgia Mason, Animals kept in captivity exhibit stereotypic behavior that is fundamentally similar to that seen in human conditions of autism and schizophrenia. So as you can see, this is something that you should not take lightly. If people learn from animals in the wild, their education will be greatly benefited. Animals are not in their natural habitats, so people will never fully understand what those animals would be like in the wild, and that's what you best learn about them. According to PETA, sociologists in the UK gathered data from children between the ages 7 to 15 before and after they visited the zoo. The researchers found that 59% of children who took an educator-guided tour of the zoo experienced no positive educational outcome. That number jumps to 66% when they have an unguided tour. In many cases, the zoo has a negative impact on children's understanding of the animals and their habitat. That undermines conservation by causing visitors to believe that those animals are no longer in jeopardy. Zoos or aquariums will usually tell people they're only taking animals that are endangered and need the help. But as you can see, what I just told you contradicts what the zoo is saying. Children believe that those animals do not need help, when in all reality they still do. Also, children who attend circuses believe wild animals such as lions should be able to perform the tricks that they do, but in all reality, in the wild, you would never see a lion jumping through hoops with fire around it. And if we benefit the education of people about animals, then we can be sure to avoid keeping animals in captivity. I believe people will learn way more when seeing animals in their natural habitats, and without a doubt, the animals will be more comfortable in that sort of environment. There are things that can be done, though, to end what we believe to find as entertainment. The most important thing for us to do is to come together and make a stop for animals being kept in cages. We need to give them a chance to live the lives that they deserve, and so that they can stay healthy and active. According to One Green Planet, there are 5 steps you can take. Step 1. Sign petitions to stop animal circuses in areas where they're not yet banned. In the U.S., we have already taken huge strides into ending animals kept in captivity, and petitions have been instrumental in helping officials gauge public opinions on the issue. Step 2. Educate others about why keeping animals in captivity is cruel. Persuasion is the best way to change hearts, minds, and behaviors, so I would use persuasion to educate others. Step 3. Organize a community boycott of animal circuses when a show comes to town. You will find that most people are unaware about the cruelty that happens to animals kept in captivity. Step 4. Encourage animal-free circuses. In Step 5, lastly, write letters to your local officials. Local officials have a huge opinion that really affects all the other people in your community, so getting them to say something will open up the eyes of others. To find 20 other steps you can take to save endangered animals rather than placing them in captivity, you can visit conserveenergyfuture.com. I hope after hearing this presentation, I've persuaded you that it's not okay to keep animals in captivity. I hope I've shared the need to stop the captivity of animals, the way to satisfy the animals' needs, the benefits towards education if animals are no longer in captivity, and the actions that can be taken. Do what you can to save these animals and give them the life they deserve to have. A difference starts with you. Thank you.